Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Grandspent rocked by triple murder. Tensions are running high in Morgan Lane, Grandspent, St. Andrew, following the gun killing of the community don, his brother and a third male from the area. The third man, who was shot and injured, was rushed to hospital but subsequently succumbed. Reports are that about 5:50 p.m., a car drove up on the cul-de-sac and men alighted and opened fire on the group of men before leaving the crime scene. Reporters understand that the assailants were wearing masks. The alleged Iraq don, known as Bombshell Bomber Miller, and his brother identified as Joe died on the spot. Their bodies fell meters apart. Cops from the Grandspent police station arrived on the scene quickly. The station is close to the scene of the incident. Reporters further understand that the brother's mother, Una Evans, was also murdered in Grandspent community in 2007. Counsel of the Grandspent Division, Winston Ennis, who is also the deputy mayor for Kingston, visited the scene and told reporters he knew the men well. "It's a sad day, very sad day. The two young men who died, I know them and know them well. I know their mother and father, the grandmother and grandfather, and the great-grandmother," Ennis reported. He got the news on his way home from work and quickly came to the scene to try to get an understanding of what transpired. The council said he wished it had not happened and is imploring the Morgan Lane residents to try and see how best they can manage the situation without allowing it to escalate. "I don't want any retaliation. Allow the police to do their work. I know people are grieving right now. I know their relatives and friends. I know they are hurt, but don't plan any retaliation. Don't allow their emotions to run away with them," Ennis reported. Ennis said information gathered should be shared with the police and offered sincere condolences to the family of the deceased men. When reporters arrived at the location, several persons could be heard from a distance weeping and mourning, some in disbelief that the men were cut down in the community. A heavy police presence was on hand, trying to appease the concerns of the residents while giving assurance that a thorough investigation will be done. The Constant Springs CIB is probing the incident. Up to March 29, the murder statistics in the St. Andrew North Police Division stood at 14 compared with a similar number over the corresponding period last year. There were 4 more shootings this year than the 12 recorded in 2021 for the period under review. Elderly Kingston man missing. 77-year-old Rodolph Longman, retiree of Woodlawn Avenue, Kingston 19, has been missing since Friday, April 1. He is of dark complexion, medium build, and about 6 feet tall. Reports from the Constant Spring Police are that about 10:30 a.m., Longman was last seen at home and has not been heard from since. When seen, he was dressed in a blue jeans and a pair of beige shoes. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of Longman is being asked to contact the Constant Spring Police at 876-924-1421, Police 119 emergency number, or the nearest police station. Get ready to implement sexual harassment law, Grange tell organizations. Gender Minister Oliver Grange is urging organizations to get ready for the implementation of the sexual harassment law. Under the law, workplaces and institutions are required to issue sexual harassment policies and bring those policies to the attention of workers. The policy should advise workers, clients, students, resident wards, and members on how complaints of sexual harassment should be reported and addressed. Although workplaces and institutions will have 12 months for the implementation date of the law to put their policies in place, it is critical that the work begins now. I've mandated the Bureau of Gender Affairs to step up sensitization on the sexual harassment legislation and to assist organizations to develop their policies, said Minister Grange. The minister said she was waiting the completion of the administrative arrangements for establishment of the Sexual Harassment Tribunal and the Sexual Harassment Unit before announcing the date on which the Sexual Harassment Protection and Prevention Act 2021 shall come into operation. The tribunal will hear and determine complaints of sexual harassment at the workplace and other institutions and adjudicate on complaints by a worker of the employee's failure to act on such complaints, while the Sexual Harassment Unit will assist in the investigative work and other statutory requirements to give support to the proper functioning of the tribunal. We are advanced in appointing the tribunal as well as the training and recruitment of the sexual harassment unit, which are needed to bring into operation this important and well-needed law to protect the many women and men who are suffering the harmful effects of sexual harassment across our country, Green stated. 7 perished in 7 days. Road fatalities hit 118. 7 fatalities during 7 days period of March 26 to April 1 have pushed the number of people killed in traffic crashes since the start of the year to 118 as of Friday, April 2nd. The numbers are contained in the largest week bulletin released by the Road Safety Unit (RSU). The victims include 3 drivers of private motor vehicles, 2 pedestrians, 1 motorcyclist and a pedal cyclist. They were all males. Meanwhile, the Road Safety Unit said that 118 road fatalities to date resulted from 105 fatal crashes. There were 99 fatal crashes and 106 fatalities from the comparable period in 2021. Motorcyclists led the way, with 31 being killed in traffic crashes since the start of the year. This group is followed by drivers of private motor vehicles at 29 and pedestrians at 28. 11 passengers of private motor vehicles have also perished on the nation's roads. A further breakdown of the statistics show that 36 road users were killed as a result of what the Road Safety Unit described as drivers proceeding at excess speed with no regard to conditions. A further 25 were killed in instances where drivers failed to keep the near side or to the proper traffic lane, while 12 pedestrians died after walking or standing in the road. Jamaica now has a bushfire warning index and management system. Jamaica's climate and disaster resilience capacities have been strengthened with the development of a bushfire warning index and management system. The digital platform initiated by the Meteorological Service Division, Met Service, in tandem with the Jamaica Fire Brigade JFB, is expected to improve stakeholders' capability to monitor developments relating to bushfires. It will utilize rainfall, temperature, soil type, and land use data to determine the risk of fire in targeted areas. The facility was launched by the Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Senator Matthew Samuda, recently. In his remarks, Samuda noted that the digital platform was implemented under the Met Services Building Resilience through Climate Adaptation Technologies project. This project also includes the monitoring of pilot sites in parishes prone to wildfire, use of a common alerting protocol, and a public awareness and education campaign that has been named Jamaica Against Bushfires, JAB, he said. Samuda emphasized that these interventions are pivotal to our efforts to become climate resilient and convert scientific knowledge into practical guidance for climate-sensitive sections such as agriculture, water health, and disaster mitigation. He added that climate change remains a real and present danger, requiring critical and urgent act to curb greenhouse gas emissions. Meanwhile, Acting Deputy Director General of the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, Michelle Edwards, in welcoming the system noted that the threat of bushfires island-wide is real. They affect communities and agricultural areas. The Met Service and the Jamaica Fire Brigade have taken another step and achieved another milestone in strengthening our disaster resilience, she noted. Edwards said the digital platform will provide the necessary information to update communities and emergency responders on the threat of fires. Needs to reduce crowding at tax offices, says Hank Williams. The leader of the Tax Administration of Jamaica, TAJ, anticipates that the rollout of the National Identification System NIDS will lead to fewer people doing in-person business at the island's tax offices. According to Deputy Commissioner General at the TAJ, Hank Williams, the NIDS will solve a lot of the issues users of tax collectorates face while conducting business. I am sure it will cut down the traffic and excess time spent at tax offices island-wide, Williams said. He was speaking Thursday at the first meeting of the NIDS Implementation Task Force, ITF. The Deputy Commissioner General said NIDS is slated to drive the transfer of motor vehicle transactions online, such as renewal of driver's license and motor vehicle transfers. He said this will significantly reduce the need for persons to be present in tax offices to transact business. The ITF will spearhead the development and implementation of these and other high-valued use cases, Williams noted. Similar sentiments were echoed by the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, PSOJ, which was also represented at the ITF meeting. Members have reportedly indicated that they anticipate the simplification of the services they offer to the public with the national ID. President of the Jamaica Bankers Association, Septimus Blake, the financial institutions are looking forward to using NIDS to deliver innovative services to Jamaicans. He noted that the existing forms of identity verification are a high cost to financial institutions. Meanwhile, Program Director of the NIDS project, Dr. Warren Vernon, in updating the ITF, shared that NIDS card production and vetting center is 95% completed. For his part, Minister without portfolio in the Office of the Prime Minister and Chairman of NIDS ITF Floyd Green, who chaired Thursday's meeting of the ITF, tasked members with driving the adoption of the National Identification Card. Green had previously announced that the ITF would be created by the end of the first quarter of the year to begin its work on the implementation strategies. He told Thursday's meeting that the task force role is to make the lives of Jamaicans easier. The establishment of partnerships between the government of Jamaica and the private sector is essential in adopting and using the National Identification Card. The card will, for example, assist the unbanked in opening accounts with financial institutions, and I am happy that there is already buy-in from our banks, Green stated. The pilot is set to transform identity verification and authentication with the financial sector, ministries, agencies, and departments of the government, bolstering the beginning of the National Digital Transformation Drive. Javon Mowat, representing the National Youth Advisory Council on the ITF, indicated that young people are anticipating needs for ease of transactions and a one-stop shop online government portal where we can use NIDS to access services. Green reiterated the need for the public's confidence in the security of the cards as they process high-level encryption features with governance and oversight to deter misuse. The NIDS pilot will guide the system's national rollout. The membership of the ITF includes the Inter-American Development Bank, the Jamaica Bankers Association, the PSOJ, the Credit Union League of Jamaica, the Project Executing Unit, and representatives from the National Youth Advisory Council. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.